Hello, everyone watching and listening, and welcome to another episode of Inspired By with Stowe. And this go round, I am talking to the one and only Renee Spearman. How are you doing today?
Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited and so happy and so honored to be with you on today.
Oh, thank you. It's my honor. This is amazing to be in front of someone that's been a professional in the music industry for a long time, and you just keep producing, whether it's behind the scenes or in front of us. So it's definitely my pleasure to be talking with you.
Thank you.
So you are a singer, a songwriter, a producer, and probably even more than that in the music industries. And I just think just being a songwriter and producer, kind of those behind the scene roles, like those are visionary positions. Like I believe you have to have some type of special vision to be good at that. So can you talk a little bit of what it's like being just a songwriter and producer?
Yes, actually, as a songwriter, like you said, it's really behind the scenes because at the very beginning, you have to get the song together.
Mm.
You have to be inspired to write, and you have to be inspired by God. And sometimes you have to get up at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning when the song hits you, and
Man.
get your recorder and get your phone and get whatever you can so that when you wake up, you don't forget the song that God gave you. And it's a lot of work actually to write a song, and then you got to come up with the backgrounds and the music.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a blessing because everybody is not able to do that. So I consider it an honor and a privilege to be able to write. And then also as producing, you have to make sure everything comes out right. It's not you singing or you just being an artist. It's the song, it's the background, it's the music, it's the sound, it's everything.
Yeah.
So all of that, like you said, it is behind the scenes. So before you get to the forefront, before you get to the song being played on the air, all of that has to happen first.
Yeah, like we think that pastors have it hard preparing a sermon every week, but sometimes what I've heard, from some artists, it'll take, years to put out a song or to make sure a song sounds perfect. Like is that true? Is that common?
Yes, it's very common.
Yeah.
It can take years to get the song to the way that you want it to sound. And then sometimes, like say you write a song 6-7 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and you did everything you're supposed to do, and you're just not able to put it out at the time. So you go back to it and listen, and you're like, times have changed, music
Right.
now, so I can't put it out. So then you may have to get another music producer to make it a little more urban friendly. So it is a lot of work, but I love it because that's what I know that God has called me to do.
Wow, that's amazing. And you have not only with your own music, but you've worked with some phenomenal artists over your entire career, including the likes of Gladys Knight and Yolanda Adams. So who are some women in the gospel music today that you think are carrying the genre besides yourself?
I feel like, of course, Erica Campbell, Mary,
Mm.
um, Tasha Cobbs, always Yolanda Adams. Even if she doesn't have a project out, she's
Yeah.
always on different shows, representing us. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of beautiful women out there that I truly appreciate. Tamala Mann, she's always in the forefront. And it's just a blessing because it encourages me as a female and as a woman to continue and to keep going.
Yeah, definitely. Those are some heavy hitters that you just named, and I'm sure there are plenty more that share your gift of songwriting and producing that we may not be able to see on the main scene that are doing the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So your new song, I Got God, absolutely love it because song, definitely a song of faith and hope, and we'll jump into that in a minute. But I just want to know, like, what was it that is different from some of your past hits that you've put out? What's different for you?
It's different. I Got God. It was inspired through what we went through as a people last year, the whole entire world with the pandemic and the coronavirus. That song was inspired. I was a little down because of everything that was going on and people losing lives and jobs and
Man.
family members. And I knew a few people that passed away. And so towards the end of the year, God gave me that song to write. And I didn't really want to focus on a genre or a style. I just wanted to do what God gave me to do. So it's a lot different from, songs that I've done in the past, which is mostly churchy and choir music. But I just had to be obedient and do what he gave me. So I was a little nervous because I'm
Yeah.
like, not maybe not me or what people are used to coming from me, but I have to be obedient, and the way God gives it to me, I have to give it to the people.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that's amazing, just with songwriters, with preachers, comedians, just everyone that has art forms of how they receive the message of how it's supposed to be delivered. Like that just blows my mind every time, because you're talking about you were used to producing a certain sound, but now God is giving you a sound that may be unfamiliar to us, but still he gave you something that you were able to execute.
Yes, yes. And it's like you feel like you said, they may not accept this, and a lot of songs in the past that I've done, like my last single, it was with, of course, Bishop Hezekiah Walker. So, and I had another song that I did with the legendary late DJ Rogers. And so I was used to having somebody with me all the time, but due to time and due to what was going on in the world, it was like I just have to put it out, and I don't have time to get a guest artist or whatever. So I'm gonna just go out on faith and do it, and I believe God is honoring that.
Yeah, yeah. He is, because I mean, you're just getting started and already making some noise with the song across many platforms, and it's so funny because it's amazing how he works, because you are kind of quiet on the digital side and in the social media side, but still, it's like we still get this music. We get to experience this music, even though you're quiet on that side.
Yes, my nature, I'm pretty quiet, and I feel that God has called me to do what He's called me to do, and He does not care about your personality or you being. It's like,
Yeah.
read about Moses and Aaron, and
Mm.
didn't want to speak, and he stuttered, but you still have to do what God told you to do. So I feel
Yeah.
like I just have to do what He told me to do because I just have to do it.
Yeah. 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 I'm not even. I want to dive into that, but I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna dive into it a little bit. I lied, because with that, 'cause I love the story of Moses, because even when Moses was speaking with God and telling God his flaw about not being able to speak and who he wasn't, like, God never addresses that. He just
Yeah.
said, no, just keep going. Just
Hey,
keep,
do what I told you to do. I
man.
already know you. I created you. So
Yeah.
I already know how you are. So that has
Mm.
nothing to do with what I've called you to do. So get out there and do it. And like I said, my personality, I'm pretty shy. I'm quiet. I can stay behind the scenes forever. It's like you got to do what he told you to do. And I'm just grateful that he gives me the opportunity. And he shows me that when I'm obedient to what he tells me to do, that his hand is in it and that he's going to.
Yeah, and I think your song speaks to that, because to me it was like listening to it. It's a mindset type of song. Like you got you coming up on hard times. You're dealing with trials and situations, but at the end of it, I got God, and it's like we can be in that mindset in the midst of everything. Like it's like we can almost just be unstoppable.
Yes, yes, yes. And like you said, the song, it just was what I went through and what I saw my friends go through. One of
Mm,
the pastors that I know, he was actually leasing a commercial building
mm,
um, that I owned, and he died from COVID. He
mm,
did everything that he was supposed to do. They canceled the services, and he still died from COVID. And so it hit me really, really hard because we were always talking like, what are you going to do about the service? What are you going to do about this? And he still passed away, and I still have to go on. We still, we don't understand everything that God has and he does in our lives and in others' lives, but we that are still here, we
mm,
still have to be faithful and still trust God and still believe God. So I experienced that last year, and he died right kind of when it happened around March or
mm.
April, and
Wow.
it was something for me. So I just wrote that song because of everything that I experienced and that his family experienced and our friends and loved ones. It was a rough time.
Yeah, yeah, we I think we all can share that struggle, because if we didn't know anybody directly, we know loved ones that it affected. And I'm sure there was some point at last year where we were all like, why, or
Mhm.
how is this happening, or like this just came out of nowhere. Like what are we supposed to do, you know? And and your song answers that. Like that's the answer,
Ye-
like
Yes, yes.
I talk to my friends all the time, and I say, you know God is a creator, and being a creator myself, like we don't see destruction as a problem.
Right.
like like God sees, I really believe God is seeing what is going on and what we're dealing with as an opportunity for his kingdom.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, and with you putting out songs like this to remind us of who's still in charge, like just it just gives us that much more hope.
Yes. And I believe God, he also, even with the believers, he wants to see, like, are we going to allow the pandemic? Because I didn't want
Mm,
to, of course, I didn't want to do anything because you're trying to save money. I'm not going to spend money because
yeah.
too much going on. What's going to happen in the future? And I was one of those people, like, I'm not putting out no music in
Mm,
2021 or whatever. And it's a pandemic and so much is going on in radio and
yeah.
jobs and stations are closed,
Yeah.
about all of that, but you still have to do, at the end of the day, you still have to do what God has called you to do, and
Mm,
He's going to honor you. It's like if you were writing a year ago, how come you're not going to write this year because of the pandemic? Nope.
mm.
Picking up, I'm still blessing you. Continue to do what God has called you to do, even in hard times.
Wow. Wow. So shifting into this year, 2021, you have been named by BMI a trailblazer in gospel music. Like what? Shy nothing. Can't be a trailblazer and shy. Like it don't make sense. Like talk to me about how you feel when you heard that news.
I received an email from BMI and the young lady that is representing the Trailblazer Awards. And I kept looking at the email and I was like, this is not for me. I think they got. I was so shocked all day long. And I couldn't even post about it till the evening because I didn't believe it. Because I mean, I believed it, but it was hard to believe.
Right.
I was just so shocked. And then it's like you hear about different people and all the different artists. So sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm not on that level with them. Why me? But I believe again, it goes back to doing what God has called you to do. It's been times in my music career where people that I have worked with have told me, well, maybe you should get somebody else to write your songs, or maybe like so. Sometimes you're not even confident, and so it just shows me that God assured me that this is what you're supposed to do. Because of course, with BMI and Trail, it has a lot to do with songwriting, songs, the actual song, which is writing. And I'm just grateful that I am a BMI writer and they're actually honoring little old me. Quiet.
No, just I mean, just from knowing you the short time in our offline communication and just seeing your body of work, I mean, it's overdue. It really is. And um, man, so like, how do you feel like your upbringing has played a role into your success today?
Oh my goodness. My upbringing has everything to do with where I am today.
Wow.
My dad, he passed away in 2017, but he was a pastor. My
Mhm.
dad was a musician. He played the organ. My mom was a musician. She sang. She passed away in 2012. They got me involved in church as a child. I remember I used to have to lead songs with the children's choir. And then my mom, she had started a community choir and she used to have me sing. And I was so nervous, like I couldn't even sleep to know that I have to sing the next day. That's how much I didn't want to sing. And
Wow.
my dad, he had me as the choir director over our church choir. And how that started, he happened to hear me um, sing. And well, he knew that I sang. Of course, he was my father,
Mhm.
but in the choir and at the church, and he used to try to teach, songs to the choir. And I'd be like, Daddy, no, that's not the right part. And he'll say, well, you come up here and teach it. And so that's how I started in my dad's church. And then we started a group in the church, and we used to have concerts and little choir days, and I was over all of that. So my upbringing in church is where I am today. All
Mm.
of it, all of it. So I'm grateful.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. So you're a what they call a PK, right? And I would be uh PGK. So I'm a grandson of a pastor,
Oh,
but I didn't really get to know my grandfather that well. He died when I was like 6 or 7 years old, something like that. And but my mom obviously is a PK too. And I just want to know, like, what is a common misconception of a PK?
well, I've heard that where the pastor's kids they sort of say we are the worst, but I wasn't. I had a very, I had a very very strict father
Mm,
who raised us Church of God in Christ.
okay.
So we couldn't do nothing. We couldn't go to the movies. We couldn't do anything. So, and I'm grateful for it because today I'm the same way that I was back then. I thought, oh, when you turn 18, you're going to go crazy and all that. But the Bible says if you train up a child in the way that he should go when he's older, he's not going to depart from
Yeah,
the faith. And
yeah.
I haven't departed. I think about my father almost every day and be
Mm.
thankful to God for how he raised me. So I'm not one, but I can't say the same thing about my siblings. Dad got a hold of me real early, and
Yeah.
my mom was a national evangelist of the Church of God in Christ. So I'm grateful for my upbringing, and
Mhm.
I was not one of those bad pastor kids. It
Right.
good because now everybody tell me that I'm just like my father, and Well, you sound just like your daddy, so I guess
Mm.
I got the little preacher in me. But what about you?
Right, right. Oh man. Well, at least I know two people because my mom is not a bad PK either.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, my mom's not a bad PK either, and um, but no, I think that is funny because you hear all types of stories or all types of stereotypes for PKs, and it's like I don't know, maybe it changed over time, or I didn't see it, so it's that's hilarious. That's hilarious. So before we get out of here, I want you to fill in the blank of this sentence I'm about to say, and you can fill it in with as many words as you want to. There's no limits, no rules.
Okay.
So, my name is Renee Spearman, and I'm inspired by.
My name is Renee Spearman, and I am inspired by music. I
Mm,
love music. I love gospel music. I can be out walking or exercising, and music will stir me up. So I'm inspired by music.
oh, that's awesome, and specifically
Gospel
gospel
music.
music.
Yes. Yes. I love gospel music.
Right. Wow. But no, I thank you for joining me today. Is there anything else that we need to know that's coming up or that you didn't get to share?
I'm just working to complete a complete record, a complete album. And when it comes out, I'm going to be ready and I'm going to reach out to you again.
Yes, yes, please do.
Can I talk to you about it? And I'm just grateful for yourself and your
Mm,
radio station and just giving me the opportunity. When I found out that I was going to be interviewed by you, I was so excited. Like last night and this morning, it was hard for me to sleep because I was really looking forward. That's how much I love music. That's
oh,
how much I love talking, about God and music.
yeah.
So I'm just want everybody to know that I am grateful for you.
No, I appreciate that. And we must have been sharing the same feelings because I was with my family last night. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to ask her. Like she's done so much. Like, what do you ask somebody that has worked with some of the greatest people and has, some of the biggest songs that we know today? It's like I don't, I don't, I don't know what to say. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me.